thinking. There we go.
What is
It's
Moon Day? What does that mean?
Monday.
Okay.
That's what Monday means, JD. Come on. The etymology of the word Monday.
Mm-mm.
It comes from Moon Day.
No. No, because if that was true, then Monday in Spanish would be like lunes or something.
What? Did we just like decipher something? I don't
It's the
think anyone
code,
thought
dude.
of this
This
before.
is the exact code that QAnon's been chasing all these years. Hold on, I'll have to let my stupid dog out. Yeah, I told you I was podcasting. What do you think's gonna happen? He's being locked in here, but they want to be in here with me.
Wait, what
just don't close the door.
What does Tuesday mean?
It's a good question.
I know what a bunch of the other ones are. Oh, wait. Okay, so it's named after Mars, the Roman god of war. So in Latin was known as Dies Martis. The Germanic god of war was known as Tiu. Oh, Tuesday's the fighting day. Golly.
Okay.
Then Odin's Day and Thor's Day and Freya Day and Saturn Day. Got it. I know them all now.
You know all the codes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, go.
On this week's SOD, we do our best to decipher the new Xbox Game Pass tiers. EA rolls out shrinkflation in games. In your games. Duh. On this week's SOD, we do our best to decipher the new Xbox Game Pass tiers. EA rolls out shrinkflation in your games, and then we try to figure out what games best represent America's cultural heritage. Hang out for the second half to see what Peterson thinks of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2? What are you doing? You can't do that live. I'm seeing you do it. You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Doofus. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson. While JD he did a good job actually. While he was reading his intro monologue, I was typing the word "but" into the monologue, and he didn't say "but" once. So, well done.
Look at me. I'll put that on my resume.
When my co
I won't say
types "but," I don't say it.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right. The news this week is brought to us by Crave.
Oh my gosh.
Cookies.
Crave. Nailed
Crave Cookies is his cookie shop here. In everywhere. Everywhere.
I can't wait till he opens one in like Canada so we could say International Cookie Shop.
International Cookie Shop.
Come on, Trent.
Just do one in like a military base in like Germany or something.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, because there used to be like a Wingers in Germany, and I was on one of the bases.
Oh, Wingers. Ugh. Of all the places.
International Wing Chain. Anyway, go to Crave Cookies, and every week there is a new menu of cookies, a new batch of 5 different cookies, plus the classic chocolate chip. New menu comes out on Friday. You listen to this episode on Tuesday, you find out what the new menu is going to be before the store even knows. You walk in there, any random employee, they're not going to know what's coming up. I mean, maybe me.
Teenagers, they don't know anything.
The teens aren't going to know. But
they don't even know what cookies they're selling at the moment.
Oh my gosh, you guys are going to be so stoked. You guys are going to be pumped. Some of you guys, because next week coming up, obviously the s'more, still our monthly cookie. No, I'm not getting sick of shoving marshmallows in those stupid little cups of dough. I just want to do it for 3 more weeks. I love it. Little marshmallows are so easy to work with.
I'm reading something different. You're saying one thing.
I love this more.
But I'm understanding something else.
Also, the Almond Joy. This is an Almond Joy cookie.
Yep.
You guys like Almond Joy? This one's there for you. It's got some coconut and some other shit. Waffle Crisp, guys, the Waffle Crisp, which people still talk about. They come into the store all the time, bringing up.
They want that waffle
cookie."
one.
I have coworkers that are like, "When are we ever coming back?" And I look in the inventory, and there's these little single-serving cups of maple syrup. I'm like, "What the fuck are these for?" They're for this.
That's
They're
for
for
the
this.
waffle.
We
Yeah.
actually got a new waffle maker to make the dough and like to squish it just down, just right. The Waffle Crisp, you guys, it's coming back. So dope. You get like a little serving of maple syrup to like drizzle on this cookie. It's fucking awesome. The Brookie, which is the brownie cookie,
Classic.
and the chocolate strawberry cookie.
Ooh,
It's
chocolate strawberry.
Yeah, I don't know. This is another one. This is
I'm
from the
in.
creator of the Rockstar. Yeah, that's who made this cookie recipe.
Who's
So,
the creator of the Rockstar?
the GM.
Oh,
So, yeah, this is it's a good crazy week between that Almond Joy.
Cravesy week.
I'm
not editing that out.
Terrible button to end on. Let's just go to Crave Cookies. Get your cookie on. The moment has finally come. Microsoft has started jacking up the price of its Netflix-like service, Game Pass. We talked about this for 6 years, and it's finally here. Microsoft has decided the Xbox Game Pass service has attracted enough people, and they are so ingrained in this service that they can start doing what Netflix has been, Hulu's been doing, all these streaming services, everything else has been doing.
Kind of, but in true Microsoft fashion, they made it the most confusing
Oh my god,
possible thing. Normally, Netflix is now. I'm like, you know what, Netflix? Maybe you're doing it right because they're like, hey, we're just upping it by like $1.50, right?
Kind of, but then
They're
they add the
fine.
ad tier. Doesn't Netflix have an ad tier now?
I don't
They're all
know.
doing it, and I don't know if it's deliberate, just making it like a super confusing mess.
Let's not talk about ad tier because then Microsoft will get some ideas.
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, wait, there's an ad tier we can do? Let's do that.
that's kind of like what one of these is. So
the crappy one,
yeah, this is announced on like a weird blog post type. This is already active. If you get Game Pass right now, this is the case. This is going to be real for you. If you are an existing member, this won't actually impact you till September 12th. So you do have some time. They baked that in. I guess that's a nice thing to do, considering this is a big change, because I don't think they've upped the price in like 5 years or more.
Been a little while.
I mean, since they like rolled it out, I feel like it's always been like $10 a month or whatever.
I haven't checked my bank statement, so I genuinely don't know how much I pay for it.
But in this like blog post or whatever, they bury the actual price of the increase in a linked PDF you have to download to view, because I guess the argument here is that, well, they're all different price increases, and some regions don't have any price increase. So you have to download the PDF to view your price increase. But I mean, realistically, we know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They're trying to hide this.
We want to put it out there, but we want to put it out there without anybody actually going.
They want to obfuscate what they've done, and just figure, like Peterson, people aren't going to check their bank statements on it.
Yeah,
which is insane. So we will lay these increases out for the vast majority of people who have Game Pass, which is people that are listening to this podcast.
Yep.
We've got Game Pass Ultimate, which is what I think Peterson had.
I think that's because
this is for PC and your Xbox console.
Yeah,
and it's everything. You get the day one releases, you get everything. This was previously $17 a month. Now it's $20 a month.
$19.99. So I'd feel good better about it.
We don't do that. Yeah. It's only $19.
It's only $2 increase.
The PC Game Pass, which is what I always had, has gone from $10 to $12. And then they've introduced Game Pass Core.
Which I don't even know why you would do this.
No. Game Pass Core, it sounds like they already had this. This used to be Xbox Live Gold or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And this was $60 a year. It was $5 a month. Now it's $75 a year. And you only get 25 games and no day one releases.
Like,
It also introduces Game Pass Standard at $15 a month. That doesn't include day one releases, but I think includes. You have like let me look at this here graphics. See if this helps clear anything up.
So it does not have day one releases, but it has the full Game Pass catalog. That's what the $15 a month standard one has. So what they're trying to really do is push you towards Ultimate. They're like, oh, if you just want to like play Fortnite with your friends, whatever, you can just get like Game Pass Core, $10 a month, whatever. But then you'll see all those games that are being released that you don't have access to, and you're like, I'll pay $15 a month. And then they'll release one big day one game, and they're like, oh man, I really want to play that with my friends. So there's push. They want everyone to get Game Pass Ultimate.
Why even have the other ones? It's an extra like couple bucks a month. Just like own your tiers and trying to like break this up into weird sub tiers, and it's just like so confusing. I don't know.
Well, JD, you've just outlined the 2027 strategy, which is merge them all into one.
And it's $200.
It's the high one. It's the higher one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's the actually, and when they do that, they'll raise the price just by like $1. But that
seems premature in the life cycle of Game Pass. Netflix,
they still have work to do. Like they're
right.
Like Netflix they had a like, bad year.
had like 3 seasons of Stranger Things out when they were like, yeah, we're going to start really jacking the price up. Like Netflix had earned their stripes and really solidified themselves. They had the button on the fucking controller, the remote controller of like every TV has like a Netflix fucking button on it. That's not something that like I think Game Pass is at. I don't think they're at that level of adoption. I don't think they're that level of maturity as software as a service. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah, look, I don't know what they're. I mean, are they just trying to like become viable, like make money?
I think this is the squeeze from Phil Spencer dropping $70 billion fucking dollars last year on a vanity project. Which is costing them money now and not making them money because the games they've released have been shit. And then their past ones, like Bethesda that came before that for like 14 billion or whatever the fuck, they did Starfield and it was a big turd. So what is the only area of Microsoft's gaming division that has potential to make them a little more scratch? It's Game Pass. Hopefully we'll just jack the price up. It'll be small enough that it won't make people cancel, but it'll be big enough that it'll make our quarterly profits go up for a single quarter. And we'll get some sweet bonuses and spend them on, I don't fucking know.
When does the next Call of Duty release?
Well, they don't do it annually anymore. You can't even fucking get that together.
Let me just check because it is interesting. Yeah, October. So they're doing this. I mean, look, they're not hiding anything. They're rolling this out right before Call of Duty comes out because they want people to be like, I got to play Call of Duty on day one, so I got to get the ultimate tier. This dude, it's coming out. They're rolling this out in September. Call of Duty is supposed to come out in October. So, God, I see you, Microsoft. I see what you're doing.
Sony is teaming up with Pocket Pair to sell you bad streaming movies and cheap Pal World merch.
I was like,
that's what that is, right? That's what this is.
Yeah.
Like at first I was like, what are they doing with Pal World? Is this kind of like whoever merged with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and whatever no, this is not that. Sony Music Entertainment, Aniplex, and Pal World's developer Pocket Pair, they've all merged forces to create a joint venture called Pal World Entertainment. This is a quote from the article. Pal World Entertainment will focus on expanding the IP of Pal World, including via licensing opportunities and merchandise to be sold on Aniplex's store.
Dude, they're
just going to make Pal World animated shows for Netflix.
They're doing what DC did to the MCU, but for Nintendo and Pokemon. PlayStation's like, dude, can we get our Pokemon now? Because like, we can just start licensing something and make like a terrible TV
All they're gonna do is make sex dolls of that one horny Pokemon like life-size sex dolls of that, and it's going to sell so much they're going to be like, I don't feel good about this anymore. Shut it down.
Like honestly, it was kind of
We're
a
making
joke.
too
Like,
much
we didn't
money.
think so many
It's
people
disgusting. Birth rates are just plummeting because of this sex doll.
We have people ordering them in bulk. I don't know why, but
People have left their wives for this thing.
there's a guy in Manitoba who has 19 of them. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe put him on a watch list. Yeah, this is just going to be. I mean, I feel fairly confident in saying there's going to be a animated series of some kind or another for Pal World that's out in the next couple of years.
They can see if they can like expand this, even though like the Pal World universe isn't like the story's not fleshed out to the point where you're like, yeah, this is
Well, I mean, look what they did with Pokemon. It was fucking dumb as hell, and they've been running with that shit for like 30 years. I mean, this Pal World does already have 25 million players, like who have touched Pal World.
yeah.
Those are insane numbers. I mean, in terms of like how much, and we talked about this on how the size of the player base or the sales on Steam, that this was like 50% of all co-op games sold on Steam this year so far.
Yeah.
So there is this has left a huge impact, and there's a ton of people that would probably, it's not a bad idea is what I'm getting at, is that there's a big audience for this and they know it.
There's a shot to shoot here and they're doing it.
And so it's, I guess Sony, if anyone's going to do it, if anyone's going to exploit it, Sony has the resources for it. So, yeah, you'll be able to get
give it a go.
Pal World fleshlight.
No.
Sweden's Minister of Culture thinks Goat Simulator represents Swedish cultural heritage. Breaking. That's our disingenuous spin on this. This is the game culture canon, which is comprised of 15 games that have, quote, deep significance in Swedish culture. This is the Minister of Culture for Sweden, which is
what I've realized is I feel like either the Minister of Culture doesn't understand video games, or I don't understand what's going on in Sweden. And I think it's probably the latter one. Because some of these games, I'm like, you chose this.
Yeah, let me read the list. Go through these 15 games really quick. Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Backpacker, Battlefield 1942, The Battle of Polytopia, Budget Cuts, Candy Crush Saga, Europa Universalis, It Takes Two, Goat Simulator, Ground Control, Minecraft, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Star Stable Online, that's kind of a tongue twister, Stugan, and Toka Tea Party by Toka Boca. That's cute. I don't think that this is necessarily as much as like these represent culture. These are like the 15 biggest games to come out of Sweden is kind of how I viewed this.
Is like the ones that were made in Sweden?
Yeah, these were all made in Sweden, I assume. I guess.
I don't think all of them were.
This is a quote from Minister of Culture, Parisa Liastrand. I don't know. Games are culture to the players who relate to them in similar ways as audiences in other art forms. The same goes for game developers who have the same drivers as other creators, the will to express, create something new, and communicate with their audience. Games reflect the world we live in and have a rich history which is now being recognized by museums and other institutions. For these reasons, we think it is fitting that games have a canon too. Are you sure these aren't all made in Sweden?
It's
not like Star Stable Online is about like a Swedish space station. I assume these are all made in Sweden.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, because Minecraft was made in Sweden.
Yeah, I think they're all Swedish games. But that's what I'm getting at, is I don't think they're necessarily like, I just don't think there's that many that were made in Sweden.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they've got like Stugan on there. Like, what the freak is that? I've never heard of that. Backpacker's there.
So, yeah, it might have been hard to get to 15. They probably started with Minecraft and they're like, what else? They're like, Goat Simulator. They're like, that's ours? They're like, yeah, fucking Goat Simulator. Toss that on there.
Yeah, there's a Swedish guy who made that.
I think there's Sven. He worked on that.
His ancestors are from Sweden. Okay, wait. Backpacker is a series of Swedish games.
Yeah, we probably sound like such assholes. This is probably like a huge game industry.
They're like,
Sweden.
we love the
We
backpacker.
worked very hard on these games for you.
We're like, it sounds stupid, you idiots.
You guys are dummies. Be more American.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, do any of these games have guns even?
Wait, hold on. let's see.
Battlefield 1942.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's like no guns. How do you guys kill each other then?
Maybe, yeah, I don't understand. Like,
I don't
what,
know. What do you do when you're mad with your neighbor? What do you wave in your front yard?
Yeah, what do you
I don't
point,
get it.
What do you point at people to make them know how tough you are?
What do you leave in the car door of your truck when you go to the car wash?
What's in the back window of your truck?
What does your
Is it
kid
just
play with when you're
nothing
gone?
What do you do with all your bullets? That's what I don't know.
What do you use to shoot your bullets? Do you just hit them with hammers?
Throwing bullets.
Get ready for shrinkflation to hit your video games, starting with Apex Legends.
This is the story I hate the most of all the stories that are in here today.
Yeah, this is pretty nasty. EA announced in a blog post that they're splitting seasonal battle passes in half for Apex Legends while still charging players roughly the same amount for them. And did you look at this blog post? Because the picture they chose for the blog post is fucking incredible. It's like a character from the game, this grinning evil woman, while they announce this like kind of tongue-in-cheek evil update to their battle pass system that literally only benefits EA. Like, it does nothing for the player base. It makes EA more money, and it is a more brazen attempt to get people on that wheel, that battle pass wheel that I have to play every fucking week. I have to play this constantly. I can't play any other games. I can't spend money on any other games because they've got this wheel they just keep forcing me on. This is my favorite quote. There's never been a better time to jump in and complete a battle pass for the ultimate reward. I'm sorry. Was the ultimate reward like
Yeah,
what is that?
the-
I
what
don't
do they-
like that. I don't know what that means. The ultimate reward sounds like something from a dystopian film, like it's your freedom or something, or you get to leave the island.
You get to live.
You get the ultimate reward. We won't eat your baby when it's born.
Actually, if I have learned anything from dystopian books and movies, the ultimate reward, quote unquote, is you're actually gonna get killed.
yeah.
That's like The Island. Remember that movie?
Mhm. You're getting
That-
like the little air compressor between your
Yeah,
fucking
they're
eyes.
gonna kill you.
You're gonna die. That's the ultimate. So that's what this battle pass is. It's the ultimate reward for video gamers.
Guys, they're gonna murder you. Don't
Ah!
get the battle pass.
The biggest issue I see here is the battle pass is now only available for real currency and not in-game currency. So, like we talked about with Overwatch and like Fortnite, for example, is that most of these battle passes, the idea is you spend money on it one time, and then moving forward, you can earn enough currency by unlocking things and stages in the battle pass itself. Which is, if you guys don't know what a battle pass is at all, kind of like me, because I don't really play them a lot.
Like as you play, like you like get battle pass levels, so you level up the battle pass, and each level would have
Just through experience.
rewards. Yeah, just through playing the game, you get experience, and you just unlock rewards through the battle pass. Good battle passes, like Fortnite's, will give you enough currency to buy the next battle pass. And you say, well, why would they do that? Because they're smart, and they also release a lot of skins that are going to tempt you to use your V-Bucks. So then you're like, crap, I spent my V-Bucks.
Now I have
it's
to
fine.
buy the battle
I'll just get
pass.
the next one. Like, and you don't feel so bad about it because like you're like, oh, I can just do it again. Like that, they're smart. Here's my prediction. Genuinely, like, this game was already kind of on the decline. I think they're gonna kill it. I think this is killing the game, and here's why. You get a battle pass, and say the period for that battle pass is 3 months. Well, if you are like a not hardcore, just like this is your game, but you're not like hardcore about it, you're not a streamer, like it's gonna take you a while to get to level 100 of the battle pass or whatever it is to max out the battle pass. And usually, like my kids, for example, If they're not there, they're going to grind that last week. That last week, they are pushing and grinding. If you split that up now and you have to grind every month, like they're just going to stop because it's
Yeah.
not actually the
Well, because you'll
funnest
miss it
time.
once, and then it's like not as big of a deal if you miss it again, and then you drop off entirely.
You miss it twice, and you're like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do. I can't do it.
I'm
Like,
never
I
gonna
can't
catch
get
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I think. Wow, this is such a dumb idea. And like, what?
It seems like they know it too, because they buried the whole news about how it's not going to be free anymore to unlock. Because it's the 1-2 punch here.
Yeah.
Is that they've removed the free in-game currency. Because if they just increase the speed of the treadmill, which is what you're saying they're doing here, and more people are going to fall off, whatever. But if it was like free, it wasn't like. But they've
You could
increased the
unlock the
treadmill
next one.
speed, and now they're charging you to run on the treadmill, and you're like, dude, I don't think I like running that much. Even it kind of fucking sucks now that it's not like free, and now I have to sprint more often. It's not as fun. They say this is the quote from the blog post: the decision to move from AC, which is their in-game currency, to real world currency is not one that we made lightly, but it does allow us to decrease the price of Premium Plus for our community. What? That's what people wanted. They wanted to pay for the battle pass so that the battle pass could be cheaper. I mean, with
But
what?
then the battle pass is look, they lowered the price of the battle pass, but then they also doubled it. So
Yeah.
in fact, they raised the price of battle pass for the same amount of time that you would have done it before. It's just look, the joke is that it's shrinkflation, right? Like you're paying more and getting less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, it feels like with this and the Game Pass story, like, look, we know the inflation is pretty fake. Like it's not totally fake, but like companies are exploiting it. Like groceries companies are exploiting it to make more money. Are video game companies being like, look, everyone's raising prices, we got to raise prices too? Like, because
Or they're looking at the general economy and every other price going up, and they're like, man, I bet people have a lot of extra cash in their wallets.
salaries are not going up at the same rate.
Everyone's been getting
So,
huge raises, right? You guys have been getting raises, right? Not like layoffs or anything. You've been getting raises, huh?
yeah,
That's what everyone across the
EA and
country's been
Microsoft didn't
experiencing.
lay anyone off in the last 12
and
months,
the
right?
federal government, the minimum wage just keeps going up through the roof. It's like $25-$30 an hour now, and
We're all swimming in cash.
so yeah, let's jack up the price of Game Pass. That makes perfect sense economically.
Let's double your game. Let's double your battle pass.
Fucking
Like
love
it'd be
it.
great.
Smoked for 0 hours. Riblets
Wait.
microwaved for 25 seconds.
There
Still cold in
is
the middle.
there is some of that liquid smoke on it though, so you get that overwhelming smoke flavor.
Riblets are meat nuggets and news. Not a whole rib, just a little nibble.
Not even the good part of the rib, just
No.
like yeah.
Broken off end part. Heard of burnt ends? This is broke ends.
Snapped ends.
Snapped ends from after you kick a cow to death. Game Boy Advance game has been released after 22 years.
Just what you wanted.
This is a
new
game called
for your advance.
Yeah, baby. Kien, which was in development since 2002. There was this small Italian indie team, and they worked on this back in
It's like a group
2002.
of friends. It was like
Yeah.
just like a group of guys.
Didn't really know anything about game development. They shopped it around. They could never get it published because it was pretty expensive to publish a cart on the Game Boy Advance. And the last remaining developer from that team, a game designer, Fabio Belsanti, teamed up with Incube 8, which is a publisher focused on releasing and supporting new games for classic consoles, and released this. And you can get it for $10. But I will say, it's only digital, and it's not a cartridge. Maybe if you go buy it a bunch, the fine folks at Limited Run Games will put it on a cartridge. But
This
for right
is-
now, it's digital only. But that's kind of crazy. You can play a game that was actually designed and built for the Game Boy Advance.
At the time of Game
Yeah.
Boy Advance. And this is, I put this in here, this is just a little feel-good story. Like, these guys, like reading the story, these Italian guys really loved this game they were working on, and they were probably super bummed when it just like no one would buy it and no one would publish it for them, and they all just kind of fell off. But this one guy, he's like, I'm gonna make this happen, and he did. And he'll probably make no money off of it, but look, they're already in the hole. It's 22 years later. It doesn't matter anymore.
Sometimes you just need to see something through. Sometimes you just need to finish.
Like, he's probably just stoked that it's out. Like,
Mhm.
he's probably stoked that it's out, and he can like play it on, download it onto a Game Boy Advance, and play it there.
This is that project in your backyard that every time you look out your kitchen window, you just see it, and you're like, "Wow, it's been 5 years now, and that plywood's just still leaning there." I was gonna put it up, but maybe next year.
You're
He
like,
did
I'm
it.
so glad you
This guy
finished.
finally did it.
But you know that plywood style is super out of date now, and like it looks pretty old.
It's kind of
You're
warped.
like, but you did it.
But you
did
got it. It's done. It's done. I finished it.
Well done,
Finished the
Fabio.
project. Honey, I got rid of the plywood. Tencent's shooter has been retired exactly 1 year after release.
This is my favorite beat.
This existed. This game was called
Yeah.
Synced. SYNCED. Thank you so much for playing Synced and being a valued member of its community, the developer wrote on Steam. But we are
Nobody
glad to
played
inform you that this game will be retired this September. You will still be able to enjoy the game and use any existing in-game items until the termination date. Capitalized termination date. Termination date is the ultimate reward. Exactly 1 year after this game's release, they're killing it. I don't know anyone that played it. It got pretty middling reviews on Steam. Synced, just in and out, just like one of those. Who plays these games?
This is my favorite beat that we do is these games. Okay, first off, like, okay, guys, chill on the shooters. Like, if you're gonna come out with a shooter, it better be a banger. Because that market is so saturated.
Yeah.
So Tencent's like, we're just gonna come out with this shooter, and like they developed this game, and 1 year later they are turning it off. This game will not exist anymore. I don't know why. I just think it's hilarious when they release these crappers, and then they just like, oh man, this game sucked. Who knew? And then they shut it down. I don't know why it's so funny to me.
Sonic's boss wants to make a Sonic RPG before he retires. This is the Sonic Team studio head Takashi Iizuka. It was an interview with Good Vibes Gaming, the YouTube channel. I'll just read the quote. Personally, I really like role-playing games. The RPG game format is a lot of fun, and I've even thought to myself, for the past 30 years, we haven't done a Sonic RPG, and I'm questioning myself, why haven't we done a Sonic RPG in all this time? How have we gotten to 30 years with no RPGs? They did have one on the Game Boy Advance, I believe. Or no, it was the DS. The one that had the two screens.
Yeah. That's the DS.
I think it was Dark Brotherhood, I think, or something. But I don't think people consider that one.
I think he's thinking like a
real
like a open world type of RPG.
Well, that's kind of how this one was, but it was kind of dog shit. I mean, it was like so forgettable. I think they forgot it right.
This is it. Maybe he's thinking JRPG, but this is interesting. I was like, wait, why haven't they done that? Why haven't they tried to do that really well? Because it just seems like so easy. You could make a Sonic JRPG and it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, they've got tons of the characters. They've got
characters with different moves, it would not be hard. It would not be hard.
He's putting out some major shade.
I got a question for you though. Like whenever it's like a Scandinavian quote, you do it in a Scandinavian accent. How come you didn't do a Japanese accent, JD?
I'm
just kidding. You don't do a Japanese accent.
New Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles roguelike looks incredible.
I'm so excited for this. I just found out about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to put it in Riblets because I want to talk about how awesome this looks.
Splintered Fate is the name. And you play different turtles, and they all have different play styles, and you run around trying to save Splinter.
Like top down, not an isometric view, co-op, roguelike Ninja Turtles.
It's like a Hades view, right?
Yeah. I want this. This is what I want. This seems
amazing. Seems like why did this take so long kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't we get this earlier? But better late than never. Also,
Make everything into a roguelike, and I'm already in. Like that's I don't know what it is, but I'm like, okay, I guess that's
it just fits everything.
Yeah.
Everything fits in it.
so good.
Riot Games canceled their Smash Brothers clone Pool Party because Multiverses sucked so bad. That's what happened here. Multiverses came out like such a wet fart that Riot Games turned to their team of like 70 to 80 people working on this game Pool Party that was like, it didn't even start as a fighting game, but eventually it became a Smash Brothers ripoff.
What
And they
did
are
it
just like,
start
you guys are gotta go. You guys gotta go. So half the team got an offer to be reassigned within the studio, and then the rest of them were looking for new positions on the company's internal job board. It's very Office Space, and then 10 were just straight up laid off. And according to sources familiar with the project's development, executives at Riot were spooked by what they perceived as the failure of Multiverses, a free-to-play fighting game starring characters from franchises owned by Warner Brothers. So legitimately, this game got canceled because Multiverses sucked so hard, and they're
And
like,
honestly, great decision by Riot.
"Yep,
Great decision.
cut your
Ha-
losses,
How do
cut
you
your
and
losses."
genuinely, because I'm going to talk about one of these games later. How do you even try to compete with Super Smash Bros?
Look, dude, I'm Riot Games, and I'm doing one thing: looking at the marketplace, looking at trying to make a bunch of money, and I have a shit ton of money. And I have hundreds, if not thousands, of talented developers on my staff. I am saying, as a mandate, a company mandate, a very Valve-esque way, if you and a couple of your teammates, or just you by yourself, can pitch a game that you can realistically make in like 2-3 years, go. Fucking go. We are going to be an indie studio shop, and we are going to pump out like 15 games a year.
The only requirement is that they have to be League of Legends based on the world of League of Legends.
Whoever can pump out as many small games that are pushing boundaries, because that is what is killing it, especially right now on PC, is games like Pal World that can be made with a developing team of 40 and can be the top selling co-op game of the year instantly. 25 million people just like that.
Yep.
And that's what the market is asking for. And I don't know how many people worked on Helldivers, but I think it probably wasn't more than 100. But
no way it was. No way.
Yeah, these are the things that they need to be focusing, not trend chasing. And they are trend chasing a 90s trend or an early 2000s trend. Smash Brothers, are you fucking high? You idiots. And if you arrive at that, after years or months or whatever of development, is that not just because it's development by committee and you've landed on what you believe is the safest option, which is something that's already been done? Congratulations. Yep. That's not going to succeed. Not in today's gaming marketplace. It's so stupid. Pool Party, get fucked.
And here's the thing. Honestly, why hasn't Riot made so I know we make fun of mobile games a lot, but there is a market there that it's weird that they haven't really
they got it in China. They got League of Legends on phones in China.
Right, but like I'm thinking like what are those guys? The guys who made Supercell. Because they just made a new game called Squad Busters.
Mm-hmm.
And Squad Busters, I just saw a story. It's already made like 20 million or something like that, like in the first month. It's like making so much money. That's what they should be doing. Riot should be making a mini MOBA or something like that for the phone, not a full-on game, just like a little mini thing. Anyway, yeah, you're right. They should be shopping it out to their employees and making all sorts. I mean, they've made like 8 games now. They got a whole bunch, and only some of them have been moderately successful. But this is what they should have been doing 8 years ago.
Yeah. And the last thing is that it is official. No Nintendo console has lasted as long as the Switch without being replaced. The Switch is the longest living Nintendo console before, in between different new ones. So originally, it beat out the original NES, which was, I didn't realize this. The NES was out longer than any other console, probably because they kind of got in the groove of making a new console and they got better at it. But the NES went from 1983 to 1990. That's how long that was out. 7 years before the Super Nintendo came out.
Yep.
And the Wii U and the Switch was the shortest because the Wii U sucked so bad that they rushed out the Switch as fast as they could. But now the Switch has been sitting so long, it's now outlived the NES. It's been out without a replacement. And quite frankly, I'm like, it's fine. I think it's holding up just fine. The game, I mean, they put
That's the
Hogwarts
thing.
Legacy on that fucking thing. So
That's
it's
the thing.
clearly fine.
They didn't try to make the top tier console. They just tried to make a console that would be fun and
it has its
usable.
own purpose. It has
Right.
its own functionality. And now I can play Hogwarts Legacy on the train. That's a big fucking deal for
I can
some
play it on
people.
the toilet.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's
PlayStation went out of their way to make that dumb PlayStation View thing, and that's the only use case is like playing it on the can.
Yep.
But the Switch did that 7 years ago, and they're still going strong. We don't
Dude,
even have
Switch-
the name of the next Switch console, and it's so it is, I don't think any Nintendo console will live as quite as long as this.
and I will and look, we said it before, but I'm telling you the Switch 2 is going to make so much money.
Billions, because
People
they
are just ready.
Look how
My Switch
well
is
the
in
Switch
bad shape.
did after the shit show that was the Wii U. How well is the Switch 2 going to do after the Switch just knocked everyone's socks off? And then they released an updated Switch and everyone's like, yeah, that one's awesome too. Thanks. I'll grab one of those.
Yep.
I
They're going to make so much money. I'm telling you, they
They're
are
so much
going
fucking
to
money.
make so much money.
So much money.
Good on them, I guess. It's such weird. Nintendo's such a weird company, but like,
They just do things their own way, and I respect that. So
yeah, exactly.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
kudos. It's positivity, bringing it back up after the negativity of the news. I have a couple kudos. They're all fudos. First,
-2,
yeah, first one goes up to Pop Chips.
Pop chips.
This is
The
not
popcorn one?
popcorners. I am not talking about the Dorito shaped popcorn chips, popcorners. I'm talking about Pop Chips. They are circular. They are round. They're about the size of a Jefferson $50. And they are incredible. Jenna brought home a bag she got at work because it was just like one of those little sample bags or whatever, like a you'd put in a kid's lunch.
Yeah.
And I ate one of these, and it was like that scene in Ratatouille at the end with the guy eating the stew. That was me with this. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I found out, which kind of all my favorite snacks are like this, it is hard to find these fucking things.
Oh,
Popcorners are everywhere. Pop chips are not. Pop chips are hard to find. But here's another bonus kudos on top of the kudos is that Pop Chips has a locator map, and it's probably the first locator map I've ever run into for a snack that's actually accurate. How many times do you like, oh, I used to try to use the Mountain Dew as one, especially like a year or two ago when they had a bunch of flavors out. They had that like plum flavor and stuff, and I couldn't find it. And you go and you use it, and they're like, it's here and here and here. And you go to those places and it's not there. It's just straight up not there. It's not like they're sold out. It's just not there. Pop Chips tells you the flavor, the sizes that are sold, and the store. Like it's wild. So if you will be able to find these things if you use the locator. But they're just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what makes them so good. I get the barbecue ones.
What flavor? Oh no, barbecue. Was there a better
but they
flavor?
have nacho and they have sour cream and onion and just sea salt. I just think they're a good mouth size. They have a great mouth feel. I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is about them. They're like my favorite. I went and bought 5 bags this morning of these fucks.
Like in my head, I am picturing that these have the consistency of mini rice cakes. That might be wrong, but that's what I'm like feeling.
But like the thinnest rice cake you've ever, like a like thinner, because popcorners, you've had popcorners, right? Yeah. So imagine like, do you ever once in a while you get like the super thin popcorner in the bag?
I haven't had them that much.
Oh, well, it's like the thinnest popcorner you could ever imagine, and circular. So they have tons of flavor, but they have like that rice cakey, like crisp to them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. They're just so good, and they got
Okay.
a great locator map. I can't wait to try the other flavors. But yeah, pop chips are delicious. What have you got? Ooh, yours is delicious too.
Okay. We went to Jersey Mike's on the 4th of July. And then while I was checking out, I noticed that they had jars of their hot chopped pepper relish. And I was like, oh, I asked the lady, I was like, is this good? And she's like, oh, I love it. You want to try it? And she gave me some in a little cup to try. Tried it. And I was like, I need a jar of this. So I bought the jar, and honestly, it's incredible. It is, JD, you'd mentioned, like, oh, it probably has a ton of sugar in it. It has no sugar in it.
Ooh.
It's just peppers, vinegar, salt, a little bit of seasoning, stuff like that. Like, it's good, but it's red. It's a tiny bit spicy, but honestly, it's not like my kids are like, oh yeah, this is fine. Like, it's not aggressively spicy. But I have now put this on a sandwich and a hamburger. We made hamburgers yesterday. I put it on my hamburger.
Ooh.
Incredible. I'm telling you, this is a fantastic.
How big is the jar?
It's, let's see. I'm trying to think like what's similar size. It's about the height of a regular pickle jar,
Oh, okay.
and maybe like the width of a soda can.
So it's like a
So,
soda can size.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit bigger than taller. It's taller than a soda can.
Okay.
But no,
It's like a good amount.
it's a good amount. It's like $6-7 or whatever. Honestly, so good. I'm obsessed with it. I've been putting it on, like, I make sandwiches all the time for lunch. I put it on every single one, and I love it. It has taken the place of pickles for me. Just on my, like, when I'm putting on the sandwich, I don't put
Mhm.
pickles on. I'll put this on. Awesome. It is awesome. If you like spicy, peppery, vinegary types of stuff, this is for you. It's at Jersey Mike's. I genuinely think it is amazing. So,
And you get to go to Jersey
Mike's.
Mike's and get like a Jersey Mike's sandwich.
And look, like,
There's a bonus. What do
I'm
you
not-
get there?
I'm not a huge, like, proponent of, like, most sub shops, because I think sometimes they do a terrible job. Jersey Mike's doesn't. Honest, JD, I hadn't gone to Jersey Mike's, and then JD talked about it, so I was like, yeah, we'll finally go. And I do like Jersey Mike's. I just get the cold Italian sub. I'm usually not in the mood for a hot sub.
Basic.
I get the cold
But their
Italian
cold subs
one.
are great too.
Very good. They put a ton of
Their
meat on
cold
it.
turkey is awesome.
They put a lot of meat on it. That's what I like. Because you go to, like, a lot of other sandwich places, they don't put a lot of meat on it. You go to Jimmy John's and order a turkey sandwich, hardly any meat. The only way to get meat on your sandwich at Jimmy John's is to order one of the ones with like 6 different meats on it.
Yeah.
So, but Jersey Mike's,
Jimmy
honestly,
John's.
still good. Jersey Mike's is still good. I say that because I feel like every sandwich place eventually cuts costs and starts scrimping on the meat. Hopefully they don't do that for a long time, because it's been good so far.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's. Please don't go the way of Quiznos.
Please don't.
Last one here. I've got a kudos for Peterson.
Yes.
Peterson a couple of weeks ago was telling me, he was ranting about his ice cream making machine, his ice cream maker. And I was like, describe this for me. And it sounded like it's like a size, like a third the size of a microwave, like a pretty small appliance, and like a rice cooker, like a medium-sized rice cooker size. And I was like, I didn't know that existed. I think in my mind, if you were making homemade ice cream, it was like a big metal garbage can with like a bucket in there with some ice and some rock salt and all that shit.
In my head, it's like one of those wooden bucket
Ooh,
ones
and you like,
with like
it's
the,
got like a hand crank.
yeah, dude. Yes.
Like you're fucking Amish. No, this is not that.
No.
This works super well. And so I did some research into these, and it happened to be like a week or two before Jenna and my birthday. And so I asked for one for our birthday, and we got one. And this thing has seen more use than most of our appliances. All you need is heavy cream. You don't need the rock salt or anything. Heavy cream and sugar? I don't know. Jenna always makes it.
Yeah, heavy cream that you're usually going to whip it up a little bit with some sugar, whatever you want to flavor it with. maybe a little bit of whole milk, and you guys have good milk anyway, so
Yeah.
she probably just uses that. That's it. That's really, if you're going like basic vanilla chocolate, that's it.
Yeah, and then
I've done a couple like fancy things where I'm like mashed up blueberries inside of it, and I made a blueberry mojito one with like a mojito mix,
yeah.
and I was like doing a little bit of stuff like that, making it fancy,
Yep.
and it worked out honestly. So it was so good. So it's
We
really
made
easy.
some with some homemade strawberry rhubarb jam that Jenna had just made fresh with our strawberries and our rhubarb from our garden, and we layered it in there in the tub. So a little bit of ice cream, a little bit of so it was like a swirl.
Like you put
You
put
could
that
also
in later.
mix it in the ice cream maker itself.
Yeah.
We made some Reese's, like the Reese's candy mixed in there. And because I work at a cookie shop, dude, so I just get like a little tiny, the smallest cup we have, and I just have like a little scoop of whatever ingredient we want to make in there. Like if it's chocolate chips, it's like a handful of chocolate chips is all you take, and it makes like a batch of amazing. I'm talking like you got this at like a boardwalk, you'd be like, that is amazing ice cream. I'm gonna remember that.
You're like, oh, this is good. Like it's when it first comes out, it's like the consistency of like soft serve ice cream.
Yeah.
And it's outstanding. That's like
and
a
then
frost
it freezes, but then it melts so much faster. Like when you pull like the tub out of the freezer and let it sit on the counter for like 10 minutes, it's ready to go. Like it's so easy.
Yep.
Oh my God. So kudos to Peterson for keying me into these devices.
I have to say, I found out about this watching just like YouTube shorts, and a lot of mine are food based. And this guy was like, pulled one out, the same exact one, and he was like, "I'm gonna test this recipe for Wendy's Frosties," and I was like, "I can make ice cream.
Do that.
I can make ice cream like this. This is the easiest thing I've ever seen."
It's a
And then-
Cuisinart. That's what Peterson.
Yeah, it's a Cuisinart. My sister-in-law, I go to her house, she has one, and I was like, "I'm done." She was making ice cream. She's like, "We just got it." She made ice cream, and I was like, "I'm sold." So that's what,
No,
and we love it too.
Brilliant.
We love it.
Yes, you put the little drum in your freezer, and then it gets frozen. You put this thing in the device, and it just hums away very loudly. Actually, it's pretty fucking loud.
It's pretty loud. It goes for 25 minutes usually,
but you don't have to hand crank a wooden handle.
And no rock salt. Like you're just
no
gonna dump
fucking
out
rock salt.
after.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. Super fucking awesome. Get yourself an ice cream maker if you can.
It's fun.
We have a Cuisinart brand, but I bet they're all good. I bet
Ninja
they're all
has
pretty
one
good.
my sister used, and it looks like a coffee maker, and it makes it a little bit differently. It's got a little bit different consistency, but also very good. So, yeah, just
Get
I don't know.
yourself an ice cream maker. You need
Like, guys, ice cream technology has improved since the early 90s. Who knew?
Yeah,
And,
yeah, exactly. That's the last time I checked in on this.
Yeah. And
It's
so
been 30 years since I worried about making my own ice cream. One time I did it. I think we rented the device from like a guy that had a wagon he was pulling with a Clydesdale, and he pulled up and he just dropped that off for us, and he came and picked it up a week later, or a half fortnight as he called it. And
it's accessible now.
now
Guys,
we can just plug it in.
Make yourself some ice cream. It is fun, and you can do some good
You
stuff
can mix
with
in
it.
stuff.
So,
It's
and
so
there's a
cool.
million recipes online.
Just crush like a candy bar or like a cookie up with your hands and throw it in there, and you've got cookie ice cream. Like it's
I
dope.
made a Reese's peanut butter cup ice cream, but I didn't use Reese's peanut butter cups. I put chocolate, peanut butter, and crushed graham cracker in it, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I like that. I like that.
Peterson asks.
Asks.
Peterson asks.
Asks.
Ask Peterson a question. I don't know.
Ask.
I miss Trent. All right, Peterson asks is the segment where Peterson asks us something. Peterson, what do you got? What are you curious about?
All
What are you
right.
gonna
So
ask?
look, of course, if somebody does something, America, we got to do the same thing. We got to copy them because we're like, you can't do it. So Sweden, we talked
Yeah.
about earlier, they were like, what is our cultural video games? Like, what's the video games for Sweden's culture? And I was like, we need a list because America. And
Hey, what are you doing? You can't go into space without us. Now we have to go to space.
Yep, exactly. So I was like, okay, my question then is what games represent America's cultural heritage?
Okay, so I had a different read on this, I think, than you.
I think
Because
I had a mixed read, to be honest. So
On your own question. I love that. So
yes.
I went with basically what the Swedish Minister of Culture did. I picked 15 games. I picked them with the criteria of being impactful because he said, let's see, what was his quote? Because he talked about it being impactful. Games are culture to the players who relate to them, similar, blah, blah, blah. The same goes for game developers who are the same drivers as other creators. Games reflect the world we live in and have a rich history, which is now being recognized by museums and other institutions. So games basically that had a big impact on culture, games that were a reflection of culture, and games that had a big impact on gaming culture and
Yeah.
games in the future. That was the criteria I went with, and they obviously all had to be developed in America. There were
Mine
quite a
did
few.
not have to be all developed
Nice.
in America because we steal stuff a lot.
Right,
So
that's fair.
we take it.
We're gonna get paid for it. I'm sure at some point. But I went with games that were only developed in America because that was my criteria. So
Okay.
I can go with. I thought I'd just do all 15.
Yeah,
in
do
a
it.
go.
Do it. Yeah.
Okay, so Halo, obviously
Okay.
a seminal shooter, big deal. That was actually the first one that came to mind. I just knew that was an instant one. GTA 5, had to pick a GTA game. 5 just seemed most fitting. GTA 3 maybe would probably been another one I'd put up there, but I feel like GTA 5 and where it sat in culture, in our culture, in America and in gaming was huge. I mean, it was a different animal than GTA 3. Madden, I don't know if I had to pick one, maybe what was the second one?
I think you just do like Madden in general.
The
Cause like even
series.
he had like a series listed with, I guess, with that backpacking game. It was
Yeah.
like 6 of them.
Fortnite. Fortnite doesn't much needs to be said there. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is a big deal in terms of bringing different sporting games that hadn't traditionally been part of gaming but made perfect sense as games.
Well, and at the time, the culture, if you remember, X Games was like just
Mhm.
becoming a big thing, and like skateboarding counterculture was
The
a big
music,
thing. The
every part of it, and the
the
fact that
music was
all
huge.
these real skaters were intimately involved with the development itself.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was a big one. Fallout 3, but I think there could also be an argument for Fallout 2. But I'm going with Fallout 3 just because of it was set in Washington, D.C. It had very strong undertones of, American exceptionalism and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
League of Legends.
Oh,
League of Legends is
okay.
a big one. League of Legends is kind of I thought it was a real interesting way that America put its mark on an esports scene that it didn't really have any control over, which I thought was kind of interesting. The Sims.
Oh,
Sims was a big
I didn't
one.
even think about that one.
Portal. World of Warcraft, obviously. Skyrim. Skyrim in terms of American RPGs, I feel like it set a standard and it left a much larger impact than the previous 4 Elder Scrolls games, to the extent that people don't even realize it's part of a different series. They just think it's Skyrim. So I think that one's an easy one. Call of Duty, obviously. Pong, the original Atari game. Pong is should have been first on this list. Oregon Trail.
Oh,
If you look
the
at
original American game.
if you look at the earliest years of gaming, edugaming was a huge edutainment. All that stuff was a huge market.
Yeah, I
Made a
played this
lot
in
of,
school, like, for years.
and this was it. This is what kicked all that off, was the Oregon Trail. Guitar Hero.
Okay.
Guitar Hero is a very defining like part of the early 2000s, and all of the things that came after that, all of the peripheral led games, not just rhythm games. You had, like the drum and DJ Hero, but all sorts of other games that included like it was like a new And you look at things like the Kinect and the new light guns that came out. Peripherals were a big deal after Guitar Hero because
Yeah.
developers realized maybe if we make a game interesting enough and unique enough, gamers will actually shell out an extra $50 on top for a peripheral.
And they did.
Yeah. So that's my list.
Okay.
I have 5 honorable mentions that I won't
what
give
are
any
they?
details on. It was hard, but they didn't make the list. They were right there on the edge. The Last of Us,
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption,
Okay.
BioShock, Age of Empires, and Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was the biggest one. I could not find a game that I would get rid of for Mortal Kombat. Perhaps Portal, but it was it was hard for me to take Portal off. So yeah, those are my top 15 with 5 honorable mentions. So what did you do? How did you do it?
Real quick, Patrick says his hot take is Sam and Max Hit the Road
Ooh.
because it feels strangely American in characters, location, humor, and style. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
can
like
see
that.
it.
Okay, so my take, I kind of have a couple different takes. It's mostly in chronological order.
Okay.
First off, Pac-Man. And look, I did not have the criteria that it had to be made in the US. No, it did. But here's why. This was the biggest arcade game for several years. And what Pac-Man did, if you went to like those old school Pizza Huts where they had the Pac-Man tables, kids would sit around these and play them. So, and they would compete, right, for the high scores. Pac-Man was a big high score game. So it brought people together via competition. Pac-Man was huge for the gaming culture of the United States of America. And then the next one was Mortal Kombat. But here's why. Mortal Kombat brought people together in a different way via a cause. Mortal Kombat actually had a huge impact on the American culture in video gaming because back in the 90s, there was it was a big controversy. It was so violent that there was Senate hearings on Mortal Kombat and violence in video games, which led to them to create the ESRB, which is now our rating system. Mortal Kombat did that.
I should have had Mortal Kombat on my list. That's a good point.
And then in true American fashion, Mortal Kombat 2 came out and it was bloodier than ever because they were like, we're making so much money off of this. But I vividly remember that as a child going to the arcades and moms being like, you can't play Mortal Kombat. It would be like, but on the Sega, there's a blood mode. We can turn blood mode on. And so like it was the blood mode. And then immediately at nighttime, we'd be like, turn it on. We're going full blood. Okay. I had Guitar Hero on there. And here's why. I mean, for all the reasons you said, but also it brought people together via music. Generations were now being introduced to each other's music, but also it wasn't just kids playing Guitar Hero. Your mom would play Guitar Hero. They'd pull it up. Aunts and uncles were playing Guitar Hero, and you were hearing all this different types of music. You're seeing Slash. I mean, there wasn't a teenager back in the day who knew who Slash was, right? And then all of a sudden they all knew, and he was already iconic, but he became extremely iconic. Guitar Hero is huge. I also had Halo on my list. That Halo just straight up brought people together. Like that was, I mean, it wasn't the first time that we had game that we would play together, but it was the first big time that
it was
everyone
the first LAN party that was console driven, to my knowledge.
You could play GoldenEye.
Was that a LAN thing?
Yeah,
you could play 16 people.
Oh no! You couldn't get more than one.
That's what I meant. People would hook up all their Xboxes across the house, and that was huge because you could previously only do that with PCs, and it was only one person playing on the PC. So it opened up the game to 16 people playing in the same house or the same basement. It was fucking crazy.
Also, all of these things kind of pushed gaming more further into the mainstream, right? All of a sudden, everyone was playing Halo. And you're like, dude, we're having a party. Everyone get together. And it was like the jocks were playing Halo. The nerds were playing Halo. Everyone was playing Halo. Whereas that was not the case. That was not the case always with video games. And then, of course, I also had Grand Theft Auto on there. And so then I start to go into parts of American culture and like, how does it represent American culture? And what is American culture? One thing about Americans is they embrace individualism, and this truly embraces the main character mentality. This is my story. I can go in and do whatever the freak I want. Nothing matters. Plus, you know, we like some just nonsense violence. It's just
Right.
an American thing.
It's our tradition.
World of Warcraft also
Yep.
on my list for a different reason, because America, what companies in America really love to do is, if something works, they will stick to it until it does not work anymore. And that's what we've seen happen with WoW. WoW was the biggest thing ever. WoW was huge. People were losing their jobs and marriages and stuff to WoW. It was gigantic. And it worked. I told my son about World of Warcraft just the other day, and I was like, he's like, we should play it. And I'm like, there's a monthly subscription fee. And he thought that was the most ludicrous thing that he had heard in his whole life. And I was like, that is ludicrous. Why the freak do they have a monthly subscription fee still? It's free until level 20, but like after that, when the game gets good,
and it's expensive.
Yes. And I'm like,
not cheap.
That worked back in the day. Why has that not changed? That is the most nonsense, most American thing I've ever heard. It's like not Target, Kmart refusing to change anything until they just slowly died.
Or it's like inventing the electric car in like the 70s and being like, no, fucking no.
Along the lines, I could not make this list without including Red Dead Redemption. This is America. Like,
right,
when other countries think of America, they think of Grand Theft Auto type of things, situations, and Red Dead Redemption. They're like, cowboys run around just Wild West, do whatever the freak they wanted. Red Dead Redemption is America. So I couldn't do that. Minecraft. I know this is also on Sweden's list, but we have more people that play it than they do.
You took Minecraft.
I'm taking Minecraft. This is the biggest
so
game.
Swedish.
Nope. It's ours now. Microsoft
the guy
who
made it.
Microsoft
name is Marcus with 2 Ks. What
Guess
is more
what?
Swedish?
Guess what? Microsoft now owns it. It's now housed in Washington, United States. We own it now.
It's ours now. We keep
We
it in
took
Fort
it.
Knox.
What's more
with all
American
the other
than that?
The other country jewels.
What's more American than that? But also,
you just like jammed.
Minecraft in value, it encompasses the value of Americans value hard work, but sometimes it's hard work for work's sake. We're just working. Like, how many times have you been like, oh, dude, that guy's really good at his job. He's really busy. Like, that means
stealing
nothing.
Minecraft is like stealing Legos. It's like, Legos are the most American toy. You can't steal Minecraft.
We're taking we already did. What do you mean we can't steal? We did.
We bought it. It's ours now. We own it.
The guys who started Minecraft now have no part in Minecraft. They had nothing to do with it.
Didn't get to say shit. He's just got a big wall of rotten candy in his house.
I mean, he's got a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
But we got Minecraft. But also, the best way to get rich, quote unquote, in Minecraft. You've never played it, so I don't know if you know this. There are villagers throughout there. NPC villagers. No. You go up to them and you find a one that has they will trade you valuable items that are like sometimes hard to get, but sometimes it's like a crappy trade. You're like, give me 15 of this metal, and it's hard to find thing, and I'll give you this one thing. And you're like, that sucks. I'm gonna be grinding forever. Sometimes you'll find a villager that's easily exploitable, and guess what you do? You literally capture that guy so he cannot escape. You will build a building around him so he can't leave. And now he is your servant and he works for you forever. You will exploit his trade. That's what you do. And it feels pretty American.
Yeah, that does sound pretty American.
Yeah. And then the last one I had was Fortnite. Come on.
Yeah.
Fortnite. Not only is it
ours are really close. I feel like our list, I feel like this list would not be I feel like if they had a real list, if we had a Ministry of Culture,
like we would have there'd be some crossover with our list.
Yeah.
Here. And actually, I'm waiting for that day to happen. They're going to come out with R15 and we're going to be like, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
But Fortnite, let me just real quick, my justification for Fortnite. Like I've been saying, America loves to take stuff. Specifically, think about food. We take food from all the other countries. We make it our own. We put all sorts of crap in it. So they literally took the idea for this from PUBG. It was even in their engine. And they were like, we're going to do this now. They took it, made it different, in some ways better,
Yeah.
But they add the thing of pizza. They add all sorts of random crap to it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's garbage. That's what we do. We'd have pizza now. Like we have our own styles of pizza. We stole it from Italy, just like we stole Minecraft. So that's my list.
I dig it. Jump on Discord. Tell us what your lists are. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what didn't belong.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The first impression rose. First impression rose. Oh my god. The first impression rose.
First Impression Rose is this segment where we've just gone on a single date with a game, just one date. Just gone and grabbed a cup of coffee or a snow cone, shaved ice, whatever.
So you can
tickles your
take it to
fancy.
an okay dinner if you want. I don't know.
I don't know what
but-
first dates are like anymore.
Neither do I.
You
I
do,
haven't been on first date in a long time.
yeah. You like a
They
background
to the
check?
drive-in movie theater. Is that what we still doing that?
Well, first you go to the soda shop.
Have them mix up
hydrated.
a malt for you.
Yeah, you
And then-
go grab a malt, and then you whistle on down to the drive-in theater in your hoopty.
Pop the color on, dude. I'm just thinking thing in Back to the Future.
I was just thinking Grease. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grease is also there. So yeah, I played, as I alluded to earlier, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, which we looked into what the first one is. One of the guys I'm playing with, he was like, "Yeah, I played the first one. It was all great. Played so much of it." And I was like, "How?" I'm trying to look into it, can't figure out how he played it. Anyway, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. This is going to be a short review. This is essentially Super Smash Bros. With Nickelodeon characters. Some of the guys I play with are a few years younger than me, so they were like more into the characters than me. I only knew like half of them. But it's not a large character list. And this is where this game, where multiverses, where they struggle. Because you go up and boot up on your Switch, you go boot up Super Smash Bros. Right now, the character list is gigantic. There are so many characters.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what's really fun. I will read you the character list on this. Ren and Stimpy, Aang from Last Airbender, Korra from Legend of Korra, the Last Airbender one, Danny Phantom, I don't know who that is. El Tigre, I also didn't know who that was. Garfield, Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life, Lucy Loud, I don't know who she is. She's like a vampire lady. Plankton, SpongeBob. There's a couple SpongeBob characters. Angry Beavers. I'd never seen that show. The characters are pretty funny. Azula from Last Airbender. Donatello. Jimmy Neutron. Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Reptar from what are those little kids? Rugrats. Ember, I don't know her. Raphael, the other Ninja Turtle on there. April O'Neil is on there. Jenny, I don't know what she's from. My Life as Teenage Robot, Nigel Thornberry, Gerald, I don't know, from Hey Arnold, Grandma Gertie, and Lincoln Loud. So those are the characters. I didn't know about half of them. Here's what I'll say. It plays exactly like Smash Bros. Exactly like Smash Bros. There was not a discernible difference. Besides the character list. Now, while the characters do have some fun move sets, and they did seem pretty balanced, there wasn't any character that were like, they're so OP, like unbeatable. They're pretty balanced, and there were some pretty fun move sets. It just, why? That's my question. Why?
Well, it's an older series. It's been around since 2009. It started as a browser game, it looks like, and then it evolved into a mobile game. This is the second. I didn't know there was a sequel. Yeah, it's the second one.
Here's the thing, though. This game is not going to be successful. Multiverses wasn't successful, which has arguably a more interesting cast of characters than the Nickelodeon one. and they're competing with Smash Bros. Right? People will. This is gonna be the same thing that's gonna happen with Multiverses. Comes out, people are gonna play it because they're interested and it's free to play. Then play it a little bit, and then they're gonna stop playing it, and then it will die. That's my prediction. Is it a bad game? Not at all. Is it better than Smash Bros? No. Is it different enough than Smash Bros to warrant playing this instead? No. So this game is just going to die. I don't know why they decided to make this at this time, but it's not a bad game and it's going to die because why? There's no point. There's no point for this. So that's my short review. I played it a few times. My friends want to play it some more. I don't want to. I might play with them a couple times. But it's just not that fun. It's just not worth it to me. And here's the thing: we played for a couple hours. And you play for 1 hour, and you've played all the characters already a few times. And so, what's the draw? What's the draw?
And it really is like a fairly limited audience. Like Smash Brothers works because it's Nintendo characters aimed at Nintendo gamers who have been playing Nintendo games. This is like a small slice of people between like 1998 and 2008 who also had cable television. So like I was alive at this time. I knew of a lot of these characters and these things, but I didn't have cable TV, so I didn't see any of this. It's a single cable TV channel. That's what you're getting. The character Multiverses has a better shot, but like this is such a finite thing, and it was very much of its time in 2009. It was browser based. It was Nickelodeon. It fit. But now it's way outgrown, I think, its own audience, and I don't know who this is. I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know either. So that's why I said this can be one of the shortest first impression roasts. I won't take it on another date.
No.
I might call her up one time because my friends are like, "Hey, we're going out on a group date. You need to find someone." And I'll be like, "Ugh, fine."
This is like
That's
you do
it.
go out on a date, and the girl's wearing like a Rugrats t-shirt, and it's her whole personality, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?
Are you like,
Rugrats?
is this
Bitch,
like
get out of here! I gotta go."
you like Reptar that much? And she's like, Reptar's the best. You're like, this isn't ironic.
She's like,
Like,
"Let
why
me
don't-
show you all the Rugrats tattoos I have." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They let you get those?
Do you like Hey Arnold too? She's like, yeah, no, I freaking hate.
She
Hey
has
Arnold.
strong opinions about all Nintendo or Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So what a weird
Yeah.
game.
I
It's
love
not
that.
bad, but it's so pointless. There's no room for this.
Dice of Destiny.
Nope, not doing it this week.
Dice of
Well-
Destiny's this game we play at the end of every episode, but Peterson ain't playing. He's not playing.
I need a mulligan. Listen, I was gone a lot this last week. Didn't have a lot of time to like play a new game, especially when I start a new game, I want to have at least an hour to like sit down and really do it. I chose the Rift Breaker. I have played it for an hour and a half, but it's been a sloggy hour and a half because I've just been in and out. So I'll play it more this week. I'll review it. This is all I'll say. I hope I hope it gets better. So that's the Rift Breaker, and I'm barely into it. Like I'm not even done with the tutorial, but there's
Hopefully it'll get better.
yeah, like I have hope for it. Because yeah, it seems okay. Honestly, it seems like a decent game. Maybe I get annoyed when the tutorials don't hold my hand.
You hate tutorials.
I want a
You don't even
tutorial
touch
that's
them usually.
literally going to tell me exactly what I need to do. And this one is like, build a thing. And I'm like, how? I don't know where. And it's like, you need this resource to build it. I'm like, where do I get that resource? I don't know where what that is.
I think that's why Dungeon Crawler was so appealing to you. No tutorial, it just threw you in, and then
I
it
didn't
just
even
made sense.
need it. I didn't
just
even need
worked.
it.
It just made sense, and you're like, wow.
Same with Balatro.
Yeah, you're like, why
was
does
like,
I just get
this.
it?
I don't
I
need
just
it.
get it.
I don't need
It just works.
Yeah.
If I just can't get your game, maybe it's a little too hard.
Well, just hold my hand more. Like if you're trying something new, just hold my hand through like a stupid tutorial mission. That's all you gotta do. Anyway, So I'll talk more about
Next
Riftbreaker next week.
All right. Well, that does it. We're all done. And Peterson's got to go edit, so we're cutting a little short this week. But to play us out, we've got some main menu music from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, which is a shitty name too. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Too.
Just call
Yeah.
it Nickelodeon Brawl.
Yeah. I
We'll-
don't know.
We'll figure it out. Anyway.
I mean, Nickelodeon's long anyway, so like you don't need to add all those extra words.
Yeah. Nick Brawl. Done.
Yeah.
Stamped. All right. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK. All right. Hey, thanks for hopping on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
Good
for
seeing you.
chatting.
Patrick and Phil. It's good to hear Phil just repeat what Peterson was saying.
Dude, copy me all the time.
Copier.
He's going to hate that.